From the secured annex of the PikVille Heavy Industries dry dock, this is Tempe Temporal, preserving the past, correcting the present, and improving the timeline. For decades, Tempe's history has been riddled with delays, detours, and decisions that, frankly, should have gone better. But thanks to PikVille Heavy Industries' repurposed submarine construction equipment and a small army of archivists, maritime futurists, and temporal compliance officers, we now have the tools to fix all that. Each week we bring you classified updates from the 1979 to 1982 corridor, where our chrono subs are hard at work ensuring the Tempe waterway is completed on schedule. The Valley's cruise ship industry rises as intended, and rival agencies, yes we mean you, Sky Harbor, keep their hands off the timeline. This is your weekly temporal operations report. Your weekly temporal operations report is filed by a division of Chrono Logistics and Maritime Futures. Corridor 1979 to 1982. Primary objective, ensure timely completion of the Tempe waterway. Threat level, elevated due to aviation-based meddling. Interference update. Rogue FAA inspector identified. Tempe Temporal has confirmed the presence of FAA Inspector Jerry Latchford, operating independently within the 1980 corridor. Latchford has become increasingly disruptive, filing a series of unauthorized aviation safety memos asserting that boats constitute aerial hazards. His claims include: cruise ships create vertical confusion for pilots. The desert is not zoned for nautical lift. Any vessel exceeding 30 feet in length must file a flight plan. Latchford has attempted to halt dredging operations twice this week, citing runway adjacency concerns, despite the nearest runway being several miles and one decade away. He has also lobbied 1980 lawmakers to classify the proposed waterway as a horizontal runway, which would place it under FAA jurisdiction and effectively stall the project indefinitely. Tempe Temporal believes Latchford is acting under the influence of Sky Harbor's anti-cruise industry faction, though no direct link has yet been confirmed. His persistence poses a moderate risk to operation backfill and a high risk to the staff morale. Chrono Sub-Deployment Log. The TTS Hayden's Ferry entered the 1981 corridor at 0400 hours, successfully delivered forged FAA documents approving nautical adjacent infrastructure, retrieved a 1982 alternate timeline brochure advertising sunset cruises on the Mill Avenue Channel. Crew reports mild temporal turbulence near Priest Drive. Cause under investigation. The TTS Marquis Bell conducted counter-interference maneuvers to divert Latchford's attention. Deployed a decoy floating runway schematic to confuse Sky Harbor analysts. Returned with a crate of 1980s Big Surf wristbands, which activists are currently cataloging. Mission status, Operation Backfill. Progress toward restoring the correct timeline remains steady. Dredging operations in the 1980 corridor continue despite bureaucratic harassment. Projected completion of the waterway in the corrected timeline, late 1982 as intended. However, Tempe Temporal warns that Sky Harbor's interference is escalating. A new memo intercepted from 1980 reads, "If Tempe gets a port, we lose passengers. Stop the boats." Countermeasures are being prepared. And finally, next steps. Increased chrono sub-patrols in the 1979 to 1981 corridor. Deploy a temporal compliance officer to audit Latchford's memos retroactively. Begin Phase 2 of Operation Backfill, securing the 1984 SS Mill Avenue christening ceremony. Monitor Scottsdale and Chandler for opportunistic timeline annexation attempts. This concludes your weekly temporal operations report from Tempe Temporal, a division of PikVille Heavy Industries. As always, we remind listeners that any glowing hatches, unexplained sonar pings, or sightings of maritime equipment in non-maritime decades are part of authorized timeline stabilization activities. Please do not approach, photograph, or attempt to board. Our chrono subs will continue their work in the 1979 to 1982 corridor, correcting delays, countering interference, and ensuring that Tempe waterway is completed on schedule, as it always should have been. Until next time, keep your timelines tidy, your paperwork chronological, and remember, history isn't written, it's maintained. Stay heavy, man.